news. Tonight, an end in sight for the multi-million-dollar mine fire. The opposition swoops in on HAZELWOOD. And a young woman given a taste of life in the Air Force. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, the federal government to trial the return of cattle to the high country. Morwell South residents should have a better idea by Monday when they can return to their homes. Weather permitting, authorities are hoping to have the HAZELWOOD mine fire contained within days, but warn the smoke may linger for weeks.
Victoria's Fire Services Commissioner donned his protective gear yesterday to inspect the fires burning on the northern and southern batters of the HAZELWOOD mine.
We experienced that fire escalation. It didn't extend or pass the area that was burning, but what it did do was become quite intense and generated a lot of smoke.
Sunday will mark 4 weeks since the fire started.
It's a multi-million-dollar fire, without a doubt, in every aspect. But it's also it's one of the most significant fires that we've had in the state that's seen a multi-agency national response.
Authorities say they're getting closer to containing it.
We won't put a contained message on that fire or classify it contained until we've got sufficient fire down, and we're still aiming for the end of the long weekend.
Morwell's air quality again deteriorated today, while the EPA was offline for 4 hours as it installed additional equipment to its monitoring stations at Morwell South and Morwell East. The health message for those closest to the mine remains the same. For vulnerable groups,
that they strongly consider temporary relocation.
And everyone else,
that they should take regular breaks from the smoke if possible.
More than 1,600 people have visited the Health Assessment Centre, while GPs are experiencing a spike in demand.
Respiratory complaints, headaches, throat and eye irritation, and unfortunately this is what we would expect to see as the short-term health effects from the smoke.
But authorities aren't expecting any long-term effects.
The environmental health references usually describe short-term exposure as days to weeks, and long-term exposure is years.
Relocated residents should have a better idea by Monday when they can return home, as authorities continue to work on a clean-up plan.
To understand what people will need to do to re-enter and come back home. And it's broader than that. It's about cleaning streets, it's about the playgrounds, it's about the community needs and amenity.
While Craig LAPSLEY today got to the bottom of the growing speculation surrounding the point of origin of the fire.
We've got no reports of a fire that was already existing in the mine. The fire has progressed into the mine by the Driffield fire and also the Hoons Oak fire, which travelled along the Princes Highway, and both of those are still being investigated by police.
Brooke Van Newton, Win News.
2,200 Morwell residents have so far accessed relocation and respite grants of up to $1,250 per week. But a war of words is continuing between the state's two major parties over the timing of the government's response. Brooke Van Newton reports again.
It's taken 26 days, but today the Community Services Minister visited the smoke-impacted Latrobe Valley, and Mary Wooldridge's visit didn't go unnoticed.
It is completely unacceptable that the Minister for Community Services, who is in charge of providing support and relief, is turning up to Morwell today, nearly 4 weeks after this fire started.
The Premier's been here 4 times, the Deputy Premier multiple times, Minister for Health, and I'm here now. I know I've been getting daily, well actually more than daily, multiple daily updates in relation to the progress, and I know things have been well in hand.
Mary's a fantastic minister. She's done a great job in her role.
The opposition leader returned today for a second time, making an unexpected visit to the HAZELWOOD staging area. His visit was so impromptu, authorities didn't know he was coming, and as a result, cameras weren't allowed in. However, Daniel Andrews was quick to put the spotlight back on the coalition, blaming budget cuts for firefighter fatigue.
342 extra firefighters should be on the ground available for this sort of fire.
While Mr Andrews remains highly critical of the timing of the government's response.
People of Morwell are angry, they're afraid, and they've been abandoned.
There's literally hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, working on the ground.
Some 2,200 people have so far accessed relocation and respite grants.
I think you could clearly say that the opposition leader is wrong.
Brooke Van Newton, Win News.